got you, babe. I got you, babe. They say our love won't pay the rent, for it's earned, our money's all been spent.
Hi guys, Jen here, and today I am here to share with you my design team project for Discount Paper Crafts. I will leave the link below for the Etsy store, and there you can find the latest and greatest of everything, you guys. Kathy has everything in her store, from the resin pieces to Prima paper and Kaiser Craft. She's got everything, so definitely check it out. So for my design team project, I was really excited to get my package in. I was really nervous and I didn't really know what I was going to do until I got my package in, and Kathy she put together an awesome package. So let me just show with you the paper collection first that I worked with. Some of you may have worked with it already. This was my first time and I enjoyed it very much. This is the Sunrise Sunset collection by Prima, and it is absolutely amazing. When I got this paper in, I knew instantly what I wanted to do because of the colors, and the vibrant colors are just, look at them, you guys. They're so beautiful. And New England right now, we're having like these amazing colors all over, and it's great. So to me, this paper was kind of, although it can be used for summer projects, I thought it was also great for fall projects, especially with like the foliage that we're having now. So that's what I thought of. So let me just kind of share with you some of the paper. And it's really awesome, you guys, because it's kind of like mixed media already, kind of Finnabar inspired. It's got like lace and like inking. It's so cool. I really enjoyed working with it. This was one of my favorite pages. I love this page. So yeah, anytime I had like a scrap piece of paper, I had to like stick it in my project because I just couldn't waste any little inch of it. It's really pretty doily paper. So it's nice because it has like the bright, vibrant colors, but then it has like a softer side to it too, with like the doilies and the more lighter colors. You can do some fussy cutting on some of the pages, and so yeah, I really enjoyed this paper. I love it so much. Look at how pretty that is, you guys. The colors are just amazing. And then this was like just a lace page. How cool is that? And then the back is like lace or doily. So that was the paper, and what I'll do is I'll show you the different products I use as I go through my project, so I don't get confused and I don't confuse you guys. So here is my project. Let me lift you up. And as you can see, it's 3 of the embroidery hoops that I altered. And I saw this idea on Pinterest originally, just because I was going through and looking for different ideas. And let me get my sleeve out of the way. There we go. And so I saw a lot of people they just altered one hoop. But then I saw one person who was Mama Tiffy. I'll leave her link down below too, and she was my inspiration to kind of do 3 hoops. And I thought that was really cool because I love to alter things in different ways, and so I thought this was cool. I did have to look, like I was on a serious hunt for these hoops though. I guess embroidering and cross stitching is a dying art because a lot of the craft stores didn't have them. But I finally found them, and so what I did is I painted it. I started with the hoops and I painted them like a folk art metallic, and I'm sorry about the glare, you guys, in the picture, but I painted it. It was like a metallic brown, and then I used some gold rub and buff on it in certain spots, if you can see. So it's like kind of gold here. Okay, and then after I did the rub and buff around the edges, then I started with my paper, and I did one solid piece in the background. So I just would take my paper and cut out the dimensions of the circle, and that's like the flat piece behind it. And that's for all of them, so it's kind of just like peeking out here and there. And then I took another piece of paper and cut it about an inch smaller, so only a ½ inch would show on each side. And instead of cutting it, I actually ripped the circle because I really wanted it to be kind of rustic looking and grungy. So I ripped around in the circle, and then I inked it up, and I really like peeled back the edges, and I did that in all 3 circles, as you can see there. And so after I ripped it out, I kind of grunged it up a little bit more, and I added some masking here and here, and let me show you what it looks like. This also came in my design team package. It looks like that. Isn't that so cool? It's one of the Finnabar ones, and I just loved it because of the shapes in here. They just go perfect with this collection of the sunrise, sunset, and you have like the sun in the picture here, so, or in the stencil. So I really like that, and so I tried a couple different techniques with it. I was playing around, and so each circle I tried something different. In this circle, what I did is I just used some of my brown metallic paint, and I mixed it in with my my texture paste, and I just rubbed it in, so you can see right there. And I have some kind of showing down here too. So it just adds a little bit more texture in the background. And then this side, in this hoop, what I did is you can see some peeking here, and then there's some peeking in the back here, but you can't see it as much. What I did with this one is I have an embossing pen, so I just colored it in where I wanted it on my stencil, and then I just used some gold embossing powder, and I really like the way that one came out a lot. So that's what I did with that circle. And then down here, it's a little trickier because it's not quite so, it doesn't pop as much, but I just laid down the stencil and sprayed. So you can see some of the yellow stencil here, and then there's some red back here, and then some more red of the stencil here. So I do like the way that is, because it shows and it has a little bit more interest to the project, but you know, it's more subtle than the other ones. So then after I did that, like I said, I inked up the edges, and then I glued each of the pages in, or each of the pages of paper in my circle, but I only put glue mostly in the middle because I wanted the edges to be able to really curl up. And then I also, what I did is with my scraps of paper from cutting out the circles, I just tore pieces of it and stuck it behind just to add a lot more texture. So these are just scrap pieces of paper, and I just stuck them right behind there. You know, of course I inked them up, and I also, what I would do with the paper is after I cut it out, I would just like crumple it into a ball and then smooth it back out, and that gave it a lot of nice texture too. And it you know, made it nice and crinkly. And then I folded back the pages on that one. And this was also a stamp that I just stamped and embossed just for some more textures, and I like that a lot. The kind of like the grungy mixed media look. So I forgot to tell you the title of the page. So the title of this project is Love, and then down here is You, and then I wrote from sunrise to sunset. So I really, really like the way that came out. So for the love, what I did is these are these really cool decorative frames by the Sunrise Sunset collection by Prima, and I really like them. They're like these gold frames, and then you can punch out words, or you can put whatever you want in there in the frames, but I chose the one that said love, and I just put it behind our picture here. And so why don't we start with this one so I don't confuse you guys, because there's like so much going on in this. It's kind of tricky to tell everyone, so we will start with this one. So what I did is I mounted our picture It's pretty dimensional, if you guys can see. I just used a cardboard box, and I just took some of the paper from the collection and just, you know, mounted it on our picture on the paper. And I inked up the edges, and up here I just put some perfect pearls just to kind of frame our picture, and down here as well. And then I mounted us on some cardboard just to make us more dimensional. And then that's when I put the love frame behind it. And I also have this, goodness, I am lost for words right now. What are these? These just like a bling, I guess. I just had in my stash, so I put that there. And then back here, if you can see this pretty little flower here. These are so cool, you guys. Let me show you. They are, let me get them. These are these chrysanthemums, but they're so cool, and they're put out by Prima, but you can ink them up to match your project. So what I did is I just took one of them and I sprayed a little bit of yellow on one side and a little bit of red, because I wanted kind of that two-tone fall look. And then I just cut mine in half and put it behind where the fold on the paper was. So I thought that was kind of cool. I stuck him there. And then moving down, I got this really, really pretty trim also in my package, as well as the flat back pearls. And let me show you. So they came in an ivory for the flat back pearl, and then this really pretty trim is also in like an ivory, but I sprayed it to be more of like a taupe color. And then I put the flat back pearls on top, but before I did that, I used my Rub and Buff on them. And it also gave like that taupe color, and I really thought that was neat. See how they aren't really ivory? They're more of like a brownish, brown tone. So I put that there, and then I just have this little trinket that I put here, and then a bigger flat back pearl in the middle, and I just did some more Rub and Buff on that. And then I just have some more bling coming out. And then these mushrooms, what this project is actually a kind of like me and my husband, we went on a date a couple weeks ago, and we went to Vermont, and the foliage was so amazing, but it was just a day trip without the kids, which rarely happens. So I definitely wanted to kind of make a keepsake for that day. And so that's where some of these pictures were taking place. And so these mushrooms here, this is actually a picture of mushrooms that we found when we were going on a hike by some water. So I thought that was kind of cool. I fussy cut them out and just put them in the corner of our picture. And then down here, I just have some Spanish moss, because I really wanted to have like a lot of natural elements, because our day was pretty much outside. We went hiking and walked by the water, and so I definitely want it to look, I don't know, authentic, I guess. So this is like a little pine cone that we actually found on our hike, so I stuck that in there, and I just did a little bit of Rub and Buff, if you guys can see it. I just put it on my finger and kind of rubbed it on, and it's cool. I love the way that looks. And then I have these two really beautiful flowers that Kathy also sent to me, and they look like that. They're like a two-tone light brown, so I like that a lot. Those are so pretty, and they matched, again, perfectly. And then I just have some little berries. And then this right here, this goes with the set that also came in my package. These are the wooden buttons by Prima, and this is also for the Sunrise Sunset collection. Here's some of the ones I didn't use. Aren't they so cool? And so, yeah, so this is one I used. I used one here. And then the other two that I use is the words for the Sunrise and the Sunset collection. With these two, I did do a little Rub and Buff on the edges because the cream was kind of showing and I didn't want it to show. So I just rub some of the gold rub and buff around the edges. So I have the little button there and some berries peeking out. And then this right here, the U, isn't that so cool, you guys? It didn't have those words on it. What it is these little vintage trinkets by Prima, and this is from the Engraver collection. This, I just used one of them, and it's that cream one I showed you. But what I did was I just took my StazOn ink and those little alphabet sets that you get at Michael's for $1. I think even AC Moore has them. And I just stamped the word U on it. And it stays perfect on the glass. So I really like the way that came out. So I have that there, and I just put some little brown lace on the top here, because it is supposed to be like a dangly thing. But I know I wanted it there, and I didn't have anything to dangle it on, so. And then these two little hearts here, if you can see them. Aren't those so cute? So I put two little hearts there, and that actually also came in my design team package. And they look like this. These are the Sunrise Sunset, the vintage trinkets. But what I did is it looked more, I'll show you with the one I use. It looks like this. And it had, you know, 3 others, so it was kind of like a flower shape. But you see how they're like little hearts? And this came in silver, so of course I definitely did a little bit of gold rub and buff on it. But I just cut them so I would just have the hearts. But here's the other two. I didn't get a chance to use those in my project, but those were also really cool. So I put those in there. And then I just have some flowers from my stash, and then I have some colored cheesecloth back here for some more texture, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Right here is just a little chipboard clock from the Tim Holtz dies, so I put that up there. And then I have some really beautiful flowers I had in my stash, so I put that there. And some sprays that I got, they were all of the sprays at Michael's, the fall foliage sprays were on sale, so it was perfect for this project. So I put some sprays here, and then this is just like a little compass I thought was perfect for this project, because we were like little adventurers that day. It was so fun. So I put the little compass there, and this was just a little set of wings, so I put one of those in there, and yeah, that's pretty much it for that circle. And then we'll go up here in this one. And so I told you about the background, and then what I did is I mounted my picture on some more of the really beautiful paper, and I curled the edges and kind of made it really grungy. And then right here, I did have some another stencil I used, and this is one of those it was the Prima stencils that looks like rocks, actually, like a rock wall. And I used it just because if you see in the background of the picture, it was like literally a rock wall. So I wanted to kind of extend it out here. So I like the way that looked. It was cool. So what I did is I just used some texture paste and a little bit of black to make a gray. And I used that on it. And then before it dried, I should say, I sprinkled a little bit of sand on top just to give it kind of more of like a gravelly rock look, I And then after that, I just took my dauber and I just daubed on some black ink just to kind of make it more two-tone. So that's what I did there. And then these right here, these are just little chipboard pieces I had in my stash. They're like the little honeycomb shape, and I loved those. But then I had the Sunrise Sunset, the collection for the alphabet collection. So I just used the from and put those on it, and kind of like a little like flower shape. So I have that there. And then this was just from my stash of the beautiful little butterfly. I'm so sorry, I don't remember who gave it to me, but it was perfect for this project. I loved it, so I put that there. And so like I was saying, this was one of the Prima buttons with the collection, and I just put some colored lace in it. And then I just sprayed some more lace to go around that to kind of make it look, you know, with those beautiful sunrise colors of yellow and like the orange. And then behind that are these really, really pretty vintage trinkets too. And it was the ones that I showed you, these ones, and it was just the bigger one that goes here. And it comes in bronze. That one already came in bronze, so I didn't have to do anything to it. But I really love the way it looks behind the button. And then I wanted to stick out a little more, so I just put a little shabby brown rosette behind it. And then I just attached a chain going from the bottom up to the closure here. And then I just have some cute little trinkets. I have like a little ginkgo leaf and a little crown, and then some cute little keys that my friend Marley gave me. Thank you, Marley. So I have those kind of hanging. And then I just have a really pretty little flower cluster here. And these two orange flowers Kathy also sent me. And I only have one left, but they came in like a light peach. And I just sprayed a little bit of red on some of the areas because I wanted it to be a little bit brighter. And then I sprayed a little bit of yellow. And then I also used my Tim Holtz inks and just did the edges just to kind of make them more grungy. So I have those there. And then this little rosebud I had, and I just sprayed it in like a brown tone. And then I have some gears in here, and then this was more from those sprays that I bought at Michael's. And then this right here, if you can see, it's another one of those really pretty hearts. So I just did some more rub and buff on that. And then right here, just for extra texture, it's that same trim, that gathered trim that was here. And when I colored it, I colored a little bit too much of it. So I just stuck it in here just for more texture. And then I also have just another little like screw piece here. And then this little sticker I thought was perfect, and it's just simple pleasures or life's treasures. And I thought that was just like perfect for that day because our date was just so simple, but it was like the best day ever. So I thought it went perfect. So then moving along down here, from the closure right here, I have it coming down and around, and you know, another little chain here, and I just have it on a little gold bottle cap, or bottle top I should say, you know, the snap tops there. And I have one of those the chrysanthemums. This is the other half of that, the one that was up here that I colored. I have it down here, and I thought that was really pretty in there. And then this is just more of the paper collection that I mounted my hubby on. Here he is. This is, it was really cool. Here, I'll show you a picture really quick. This was the part of the place that we were walking, and you went like all the way around the cove and then up through these rocks, so it was really cool. And the place that we went, this was all flooded a couple years ago when we went on a date before. And so it was like record-breaking flood. So it was really cool to walk through now because we found like literally tons of treasured items. Like in this picture, my hubby actually found an engine block. And so he was just so excited to find that. But we found so many things, water mains and just like tons of bricks from different buildings and stuff. So we were just little treasure hunters that day. It was so fun. But so anyway, back to my project. I'm sorry, you guys. But so I mounted him on, you know, so he's more dimensional too. I think I used like almost a whole box, you know, just like an Amazon shipping box just for mounting for this project. But so I mounted him to make him dimensional. This was another piece of the clock that I had punched out for this side. So I just stuck that in there, going to this little pretty flower cluster. So here's another one of those peach flowers here. And then this is another one of those chrysanthemums that I colored, and I just inked up the edges just to make it a little more grungy. These are some sprays that were also from the Michaels stuff that I got. And I have another little gear right here. And then, so this was a little acorn that we also got on our hike, and so I wanted to, of course, include that. And then right here, these two little burlaps, these are the Tim Holtz, the tattered die for the tattered leaves die. So I have those there, and then some more of the spray from Michaels. And then I kind of did the same thing as the other button, where I just have the same colored lace, and I did some rub and buff along the edges. And then you can see this was another one of the trinkets from those, the collection that I showed you earlier. But with this trinket, what I did is I kind of bent it just with my finger to make it a little bit more dimensional. See how it's kind of bent? And I kind of wanted the button to kind of nest right in there. And so I put the button in it and just kind of shaped the trinket right around it and kind of shaped it perfectly to it. So I really like the way that looks. And then I just have another little shabby rosette underneath that, and it's, you know, brown and orange two-tone. And I have some bling coming from there. And then this is just another little flower cluster from Flower Sprays from Michaels, and I have just like a little bolt right here and just some flowers that I had in my stash that I put here and there. This is another one of those flowers that I showed you earlier, the two-tone brown ones, and those are ones that Kathy sent me. This was just another cool natural kind of looking spray that I got. And then I have this little wooden embellishment here, and it's just of the time thing, the like the hourglass, what are those called? I can't think of them now, but time capsules or something, I have no idea. But what I did is I painted the edges brown in the brown that I used around the edges of my my hoops. And then I just used my pen and embossed the middle with my embossing pen, and then I just used some gold embossing powder. So that's what I did there. And I also have a little bit of burlap just kind of sticking out from here just for some more texture. And then this too I just bought at Joann's at the craft store. And then also around the edges of the embroidery hoop, this was some braided trim that Liz actually sent me. And it came in ivory, and I just sprayed it in lots of tones of browns all around. So I really like that. It gives it kind of a finished look. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope I didn't lose you or you didn't get so bored with my project. I know there was like so much to explain. This took me a few days to work on, but I was just so motivated just because it was such a special day, and I loved working with everything that Kathy sent me. So definitely check out her store. She's got some awesome products, and she's constantly listing new things in there. So check it out, and I hope you guys like my project and hope you're having a great week. So I will talk to you later, and if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments or private message me. All right, well, I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.